Chapter 3. When you pee, you will subconsciously aim at the little black spot on the urinal. The reason why you can judge at a glance that you are a killer now, rather than a special police officer on a mission, is very simple. In this era of face-seeing, appearance shows everything. The 4 decorators were all vicious and full of flesh, and they looked like they were trying again, and they almost wrote the word bad guy on their faces. In the TV series, bastards who can't live for 2 minutes look what they look like. This is not good news for Russell. He is now a companion with the 4. If they don't survive for 2 minutes, then Russell's situation is also very dangerous. System, where is this? What is my specific identity? What is the mission? Russell said silently in his heart, but the system seemed to be disconnected and didn't make a sound. The system didn't answer, and Russell had no choice but to choose to act on a whim. In fact, he was mentally prepared for this. The first 2 mission worlds, at the beginning, the system did not tell where the mission world was. The only difference is that the world of the first 2 missions is clear at a glance, and he can guess where he is without the system prompting him. And now, Russell looked at the middle-aged man with a red cross in the photo. His facial features were clearly outlined, with a high nose bridge, deep eye sockets, wide forehead, and a big back. He was a typical European and American face. A black and white photo can't provide too many clues, except that it can analyze that the target man has the temperament of a Taoist, and nothing else can be obtained. Russell looked at the scope, and in the office on the lower floor of the building opposite, the target man big back head was in sight. There was only one person in this office on the upper and lower floors, so it was easy to spot him. Debiatu is very vigilant, perhaps out of habit, or perhaps he has noticed something. He hides his body on the side of the office cabinet, making it very difficult to snipe. Russell shook the tip of the gun slightly, and an Indian woman appeared in the scope. The red auspicious mole on her forehead was so conspicuous that Russell couldn't help but aim the crosshair there. Just like the national emblem on the helmet of the Japanese army during the anti-Japanese war, the perfect sniper bullseye, anyone who sees it will take a subconscious glance. It's like a male compatriot when he sees a small stain in the middle of a porcelain wipe, he can't help but shake it. According to the census of the United Nations Bureau of Statistics, 250% of men have done this, even if some of them fork and use shotguns. Bang! A gunshot rang out, and the woman in the scope was immediately shot and killed. The bullet penetrated from her forehead, and her head exploded like a blown balloon. It was all over the screen. Cool. Nice job. Boss, in the middle of the red heart, you are too accurate. Russell drew his breath lightly, put down the sniper rifle in his hand, and his stomach turned upside down. Hearing the cruel conversation of the 4, his face became even more chilled. He was even more convinced that his current identity was definitely not a good bird, because the woman who was shot in the head was not the target, and the reason she was sniped was to expose the big back hidden behind the office cabinet. The target appears, kill him. As planned, Debiatu pushed open the door of the office and fled out of the corridor. At this moment, he seemed to be on the hook, 4 guns fired one after another, but not a single bullet hit him. Russell thinks this is normal. The sharpshooters in the movie are all liars. Although the cost of training a good sniper is not as good as that of a pilot, it is not far behind. And the 4 people around him are not good snipers, no matter how they look at it. If sniping at a moving target, it is better to start a burst of random sweeps and try their luck. Shit, he escaped. That guy ran so fast, I saw a shadow, and he disappeared in a flash. Hey, Russell, why didn't you shoot? Amidst the complaints, the team leader with a whisker questioned. He was the one who blew the woman's head just now. Beard is wearing a 3rd-level helmet in the chicken eating. One is like a welder's helmet, but it is actually a titanium alloy helmet for special forces. Russell didn't answer. He couldn't find a reason to shoot. He didn't even know the identity of Debiatu. Besides, even if he shoots, in the situation just now, it is impossible to hit. Beard's questioning provided Russell with useful information. In this world, he extended his real name. Whether or not he replaced someone with the same name, at least he is not a black householder. Russell, I'm asking you, answer my question, why didn't you shoot? Beard asked again, this time in a dissatisfied tone. Russell didn't move, kept his previous movements, looked at the scope and suddenly said, wait, he's back. Who? Our target. He ran from the corridor very fast, really fast. Russell raised his head in surprise and looked at the opposite building. He finally escaped from Ascension, but he returned voluntarily, thinking he had a long life to die. The bearded man turned around subconsciously when he heard the words, and the other three were like him, and then they saw an unforgettable scene. Debate ran all the way from the corridor, rushed straight into the office, and then shattered the tempered glass, and flew up in midair as if nitrogen had been turned on behind his butt. Russell was dumbfounded. The distance between the two buildings was at least 30 meters. Debate had no wings on his body. If he wanted to use his physical body to speed up, it would basically be equivalent to committing suicide by jumping off the building, unless he had a Leakin supercar. In the next second, Russell was slapped in the face. At the same time, Newton, Galileo, Einstein and others were also beaten in the face. Their coffins were pried open again. Newton lay back down with a calm face, and pulled up the coffin board, saying that he had become accustomed to it, so don't bother him with such trivial matters next time. Bang! 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 The big-backed man was in the air, screaming like a pig, and slipped over an impossible distance. Before the momentum stopped, he drew two pistols one after another. A Beretta 92F, an old-fashioned flintlock gun with a body length of more than 30 centimeters. Beretta 92F fired two shots in an instant, killing two killers who looked at God one after another. The projectile shot by the flintlock gun was even more exaggerated. The beard was hiding behind the concrete pillar, at a very safe angle, but he was still dead and was killed from the most unlikely side angle. Russell was beside him, swearing with a bearded brain. The projectile turned. The third-level helmet did not bring good luck to the beard. If it was the 9mm bullet of Beretta 92F, maybe he could get one, but the old-fashioned flintlock gun, the projectiles fired were extremely powerful, and directly hit the helmet. Wear a pair. Debate took advantage of the situation and fell into the second floor downstairs. The pig slaughtering scream stopped abruptly. He only fired 3 shots, and 3 heads exploded. He was still in the mid-air, moving at high speed. On the top floor, there was only Russell, who was stunned, and the last killer who was also stunned. This man was wearing goggles, so let's call him Goggles. A bullet that can bend. This world. Russell probably guessed the world he was in, and after recovering, he broke out in a cold sweat, and hurriedly squatted down with his sniper rifle, leaning against the concrete fence on the top floor. When the big back shot, everyone was in a daze the whole time, so that the trigger was not pulled, and neither did Russell. In other words, he had passed the god of death earlier and survived with a 2/5 probability. In order to prove that I'm a Pokemon, I'll update a Poogia diary every day, also known as Poogia Writer's Self-Encouragement Chicken Soup. Street Diary. You only have tens of thousands of words now, and it is normal that no one reads it. When the number of words increases, you will find that no one reads it.